What's up, guys? David here. Day two of my 30-day video challenge. Every day I'm going to be creating a new video of something that I learned, and hopefully I can share some of the things I've learned with other entrepreneurs. Um, there's so many different aspects of entrepreneurism, and I think that by just listening and hearing other people's challenges, that I know when I listen to entrepreneurs, whether they're big or they're small, it just reminds me of what the game that we're playing and the calling that we have. Because I genuinely believe that entrepreneurs, they're fundamentally different than the rest of the world, and that the ideas that we have in our head, we can't live with them in our head. We have to see them live in the world. And so that's something that I'm really passionate about. And so but it's not an easy path, right? So, we have the passion to take the tougher path, but that path is a more difficult path. And so, it's super valuable to meet other entrepreneurs and hear their stories and listen to their stories, because in those stories are reminders of why you should keep on going, are reminders of, when things get hard, that you're not the only person that's gone through that. And I think also just kind of a reminder that you can do it by kind of having it in your head, literally in your brain, that you can do this thing. You can do it. It kind of unlocks the potential for that thing to happen. And you just got to keep on reminding yourself of that. So I've done a number of different startups. The one that's really in my head is right now. It's a company called Textingly. I started a company called Textingly after a company I started called URTV. And basically the premise of that company was that we wanted to make it really simple for small, medium businesses to communicate with their customers by text message. And the idea behind it was that people were increasingly using text messaging to communicate, right? This is in 2010. So people were using text messaging to communicate. And the question was, how could I enable businesses to communicate with their customers by text message? Because if people don't want to talk on phones, then they're gonna want to they don't want to talk on phones with each other. They're not going to want to talk on phones with businesses. So that was the concept. So I basically I have an engineering background, so I built out product, and we ended up going to TechCrunch Disrupt, and I got panned at TechCrunch Disrupt, but it was a really great experience. And I ended up raising some money from some really great investors, including Gary Vaynerchuk, including 500 Startups, including some others, just some really, Dave McClure, some really great investors. But we were too early. And that's the one lesson that I think I took away from Textingly. Because if you look at Facebook and where they're going with Messenger today, Textingly was really the precursor to that. It was really, we had kind of keywords and smart technology to respond back to consumers that a small business owner could set up. So that was for me, kind of looking back on it, is that it was a really great idea, but it was too early. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs, especially if you're a technology entrepreneur, you do see the future, right? You can see the future. You can see where things are going. If you're a technology entrepreneur or you're really passionate about a space. And I think the really great entrepreneurs can pull the future a little bit closer to where you are. Elon Musk is a great example of that. But as an entrepreneur, a technology entrepreneur, you've got to really learn how to time the market. You got to really know how to understand where you are in a market cycle, and whether whatever your vision is can live in the world today. And so that was the one lesson, is that ultimately I ended up having to pivot away from Textingly, but you see it today. You see how the idea of messaging will be the future. And so Facebook's going all in on Facebook Messenger, and I think it's still a huge opportunity for small businesses to adopt. So that's the one entrepreneurial lesson, is that as an entrepreneur, you got to learn how to time the market. You may be early, and you got to know either how to stick around until the day that you envision can happen, or you have to learn how to kind of just play it really conservative until that day can happen. So that's the lesson. Hopefully you guys learned something from it, and hopefully it's kind of hopefully it's good. All right. Thanks so much for your time. Take care.